How does reading fiction work? By what mysterious process do ink marks on a page or screen become story worlds in readers' imaginations? And why is it that often when reading fiction, life is just easier or better? And what might be done to enhance that therapeutic crossover into everyday life? If you're interested in these questions, this is a brief video of my forthcoming workshop, Wild Reading, How Fiction Sets Imagination Free. So wild reading is the name I've come up with for a way to validate and enhance the imaginative wonder of fictive experience. Now, while no one is perhaps arguing that reading fiction isn't an act of imagination, not many places that I've found anyway directly help readers to enhance that imaginative engagement with fiction. In some ways, reading is taken for granted. There's lots of books about analysing texts, interpreting texts. There's quite a lot of books and courses on creating texts, creative writing classes, how texts are constructed. I'm interested in what goes on between a reader and the text. What's the living relationship that allows imagination to be set free, to run wild and escape the page and take us beyond our humdrum existence, beyond our habitual identities and ways of being, into lives and situations and events that stretch out the possibilities of life, of who we are and how we are. In two senses. First of all, reading on the page, so how to pass through the text, if you like, into an immersion or an enhanced immersion in the story world, and to live the lives of the characters as our lives, to identify, to let go of our life and identify with the characters. And then secondly, how that reading on the page then spills over into an enhanced reading of the text that is everyday life. The people and places and things of everyday life, we read them, we read people's faces, we read situations. And how we learn to read fiction on the page very much passes over into how we read everyday life and how we imagine everyday life. The story that we tell ourselves about the character we play in the world is an act of imagination. And all this emerged and is a carryover from the book I wrote, Waking Dreams, Imagination in Psychotherapy and Everyday Life, which is basically a book about how imagination itself is taken for granted and how to enhance imaginative life. And what I've been working on since the publication of that book is how to apply the lessons I communicated in that book to fiction reading as a basis for developments in what's called fiction therapy or bibliotherapy. So like how reading fiction can be therapeutic. So if that sounds interesting to you, do come along to the online workshop with the Psychosynthesis Trust, part 1 on the 30th of March, where I introduce the principles and the practice to get you wild reading. And then there's a 3-week gap over the Easter holidays so that you can come back on the 20th of April for part 2, and we'll talk about having done some wild reading. Okay, so thanks for watching, and yeah, it'd be good to see you in the workshop. Bye-bye.